Good afternoon. Today we're going to be looking at several strategies that you can use to help increase rapport with your adult learners, as well as several ways of providing effective and descriptive feedback to your adult learners. As Spalding and Smith state in their book on instructional coaches, it is important that we provide this feedback in order to increase classroom activity as well as to improve student academic achievement. Let's go ahead and get started.
Good afternoon, Mr. Kelly.
Oh, hey, Mr. Nichols.
Hey, so was in the office earlier today, saw that you had some supplies that were still not delivered, so I thought I'd run by and just drop them off for you.
Oh, yeah, these are for our next lab. Thank you so much. I've been hoping these would get here soon. I appreciate that. Awesome.
By the way, today's lab, I only got a chance to poke my head in a little bit today. Man, it was awesome. Just watching you guys, the kids were so engaged with that. It was so cool.
Anytime you bring in fire, the kids are like, it's fire! And I mean, it's the easiest thing to keep them engaged.
That's true. I'll be honest, I was engaged. I wanted to stay here. I wanted to stay and just keep watching it, but, you know...
Well, next time you should.
You know what? I might. The other thing I wanted to say was thank you so much for getting back to me in a timely manner on that question I sent out with the last email.
Oh, absolutely.
Seriously, the fact that you're answering those questions, it really is helping me right now and try to figure out how I can assist you guys. And I would actually love it if you could bring that up at our next staff meeting.
Oh, no problem. That's, I want to say 2 weeks, right?
Yes, 2 weeks on Tuesday.
Okay, perfect. Yeah,
actually 2 weeks from today, so yeah, it'd be perfect.
Yeah, I'll gladly bring that up.
Awesome, thank you. I know that the rest of the staff is going to love hearing your comments, especially on school safety, because you really brought up some good points on that.
It's a big concern now. And we need to really seriously think about it.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, and it was a pleasure seeing that lab.
I will see you tomorrow.
All right, see ya. All right, so Mr. Kelly, why don't we go ahead and start by me asking you, how do you think you did on today's observation?
So I think overall the students really were engaged for the most part. I think they really enjoyed it. I know that there were a couple of students who I didn't get enough time with. You know, I feel like with 30 people in the room, it's really hard to get to everyone, and I felt like there were a couple of students I'm probably going to have to check back in with next time, just to make sure that they are caught up with the rest of us.
You bring up some good points, and I think overall you did an outstanding job on today's lesson, especially with engaging the students. I did, notice that there were some students that maybe need a little bit of extra support, and I'll get into that in a little bit, but let's just go over some of my notes that I made today. So first of all, you laid out everything in a very clear and direct manner. Students knew what they needed to do. You were putting everything up onto the document camera, which was great because it got students engaged with the screen. And you made sure that students were literally on the same page of their notebook, so that, exactly, right there, so that when they're taking their notes and they're recording the results of their lab, everyone is doing the same thing, and there's no one that's kind of just out there and not quite sure what they need to do. So on that part, I think you're maybe being a little too hard on yourself. You did an excellent job there. And once the lab started, you were up and moving around. As you see, I actually even traced out on the iPad your movement. You were all over the place on the lab, but you were there making sure students knew what they were doing and helping and keeping students safe.
Well, and I appreciate that. I mean, getting up and moving is one thing that I'm really focused on, because I want to make sure that I'm able to be with all the kids that need the help. I mean, I put in 3 miles in my classroom on average, which is crazy.
It shows. I can't even, I remember too being there at one point as well. But I did notice, so kind of going back to what you originally said, that there were some students that were perhaps struggling a little bit. I did notice that some students were struggling particularly with their note-taking. Many of the students don't face the board, as you can see right now with our desk set up. They have to turn, and there are some students at other desks who almost have to completely turn around in order to see the board.
Yeah, I like the grouping because it really works well with science to be able to group kids and be able to just quickly transition from notes to labs and things like that. But I do agree it's really hard on some of the kids that they have to turn the whole way around. I just haven't quite found a right balance yet, because I don't want to keep moving the desks back and forth and back and forth.
Yeah, and that's a big problem for any teacher. But there are actually some really cool programs out there right now that are free and online And it's important because you don't want students to rush ahead and get lost. And so there is a program out there right now called Pear Deck that I would suggest possibly looking into, where it's just like Google Slides, like what you're using, except you control what slide the students are on at what time.
Okay.
So they can't get ahead of you. They can't go behind. You can choose to let them do that, but you really control where they are, and so they go at a similar pace, and all they have to have is the Chromebook right in front of them.
Okay, I mean, I feel like I don't utilize the Chromebooks enough. I mean, we have the one-to-one technology, but I'm a paper person. But I feel like that might help me at least get to use them more.
And it's a great way for, especially if you're not comfortable using the Chromebooks, to start to get more comfortable with it, because it's very simple. You're just adding technology now into your regular lesson. And I would be happy, if you're not comfortable and you don't mind, I would love to come in and possibly model the lesson using the program.
Oh, that would be great.
Show you how the students can take notes, all the little cool features, such as you can throw in a question just whenever you want.
Okay.
And it will show up on the board, and the students type in their answers, and you see their answers. You can even pick and choose which answers will then be put up on the boards for all the other students to see.
Oh, that's really cool. Yeah. How about next Tuesday? Because we don't have a staff meeting next week. It's 2 weeks.
Exactly. Yeah. So next Tuesday would be perfect. I would love to come in, and how about, let's say, about 10:30? Would that work?
That should work. That's right after starting the second period, so that should work out.
Awesome. I look forward to seeing you
then.
then.
See you then.